Have you ever found yourself thinking about someone over and over again, unable to shake the image of their face or the sound of their voice from your mind? It's as if their energy has intertwined with yours, pulling you into their world, even if they're far away. But what if I told you that this constant thinking holds deeper, spiritual significance? What if there's a hidden reason behind these repeated thoughts, a reason tied to ancient wisdom and universal forces at work? Welcome, seekers of truth, to a realm where the mysteries of the soul are unlocked, where we explore the unseen threads that bind us to one another. In today's video, we will delve into the profound spiritual meaning behind thinking about someone constantly. Is it merely coincidence, or does the universe have something to reveal to you? Perhaps there's an energetic connection, a karmic bond, or even a deeper soul connection at play. But before we embark on this journey of discovery, let me ask you. Have you ever felt that an unseen force was guiding your thoughts? Maybe it was the whisper of destiny or the pull of a shared past life. This video will illuminate the spiritual forces behind these thoughts and help you understand what it truly means when someone is constantly on your mind. By the end of this exploration, you will gain insights into the hidden connections between thought and energy, uncover the ancient secrets of soul bonds, and learn how to navigate this mysterious aspect of your spiritual life. We will tap into the wisdom of esoteric traditions and understand how thoughts are more than just mental distractions. They can be the keys to unlocking profound personal transformation. So, if you've ever wondered why you can't stop thinking about someone, stay with me. We'll dive into the deep waters of spiritual insight and uncover the hidden meanings behind these powerful thoughts. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to this channel to unlock more profound wisdom on spiritual awakening, esoteric teachings, and personal growth. Hit that bell icon, so you never miss an enlightening video that could change your life forever. Now, let's dive into the mysteries ahead. To understand the spiritual significance behind thinking about someone constantly, we must first step into the world of ancient wisdom and esoteric philosophy. From the sacred texts of Eastern traditions to the mystical practices of Western occultism, thinkers and sages across time have spoken of the deep connections between thought, spirit, and energy. These teachings reveal that thoughts are not merely random or fleeting, they are powerful, conscious forces that can influence our reality in profound ways. In many spiritual traditions, the concept of thought is seen not as a purely intellectual activity, but as an energy, an unseen current that flows between individuals, often without us realizing it. This idea is found in the ancient teachings of the Vedas, the sacred scriptures of Hinduism. According to these texts, everything in the universe is interconnected through a vast web of energy. Thoughts, as forms of energy, are not confined to our minds. They can travel, ripple, and even connect with others, creating invisible bonds that transcend physical space and time. One of the most powerful examples of this in spiritual traditions is the concept of samskara in Hinduism and Buddhism. Samskaras are impressions or memories of past experiences that shape our present thoughts, feelings, and actions. These impressions, often carried over from past lives, can create strong emotional and spiritual connections between individuals. In this sense, the reason you keep thinking about someone may not be random at all. It could be the awakening of a deep-seated impression from a past life, a connection formed in another time and place, and now resurfacing in the present moment. Similarly, in ancient Greek philosophy, thinkers like Plato and Pythagoras delved into the idea of the soul's connection to the universe. Plato spoke of the soul as an eternal being, constantly seeking knowledge and understanding. When we think about someone constantly, it is believed that the soul may be reaching out, seeking to connect, heal, or learn from that person. This idea of thought as an energetic force tied to the soul's journey is a theme that has echoed through millennia. In Western occultism, thinkers such as Carl Jung and Madame Blavatsky explored the idea of synchronicity, which suggests that events and experiences are not just random occurrences, but part of a deeper, interconnected reality. Jung, in particular, spoke of the collective unconscious, a shared pool of human experiences and archetypes that influence our individual lives. When someone occupies your thoughts incessantly, it may be more than just a passing fancy. It could be a form of synchronicity, where the universe is trying to guide you toward an important realization or connection. Even in more modern spiritual circles, the concept of energy exchange and spiritual connections is widely accepted. Practices like Reiki and energy healing emphasize the flow of energy between people and the environment. When we think about someone constantly, it could indicate a disruption or a strengthening of the energy connection between us and that person. In some cases, this could be a sign that the person's energy is trying to reach you, or that your own energy is calling out to them for some deeper spiritual or emotional reason. Throughout history, the idea that our thoughts have spiritual weight has been deeply intertwined with the mystical practices of shamanism, mysticism, and divination. These teachings encourage us to acknowledge the power of our thoughts and to use them wisely, as they can be the conduits for both light and shadow in our lives. As we move forward in this video, we will begin to explore how these ancient concepts come to life in our modern spiritual understanding. But first, take a moment to reflect. When was the last time someone occupied your thoughts without warning? Could it be that the universe was calling you to pay attention to something deeper than you initially realized? The answer, as we will discover, lies within the very nature of thought itself. Now that we have explored the historical and philosophical context behind the spiritual significance of thinking about someone constantly, let's dive deeper into the core explanation. What exactly happens when a person occupies your thoughts repeatedly? Is it simply a product of the mind, or is there something more profound occurring on a spiritual level? To answer this, we must explore the relationship between thought, energy, and connection. Thoughts as energy. At the most fundamental level, thoughts are energy. While we often think of them as intangible, abstract events that occur in the mind, ancient traditions and modern quantum physics suggest that thoughts have a frequency, a vibration. In the same way that sound waves ripple through the air, our thoughts ripple through the energetic field around us. These ripples don't dissipate after we stop thinking them, they continue to vibrate, traveling through the ether and possibly influencing other people, places, and events. Imagine for a moment that you are standing in a room filled with water. If you drop a stone into the water, ripples begin to form and move outward. The same principle applies to your thoughts. When you think about someone, your mind is creating ripples in the energetic water around you. These ripples may reach that person, even if they are miles away, or they may reach other people, indirectly affecting their lives as well. This energetic connection is not a new idea. Ancient wisdom traditions believe that everything is interconnected through an invisible web of energy. The concept of prana in Hinduism or chi in Chinese philosophy teaches that this life force or energy flows through everything, and our thoughts are a crucial part of this flow. When someone dominates your thoughts, it's as if their energy is intertwining with yours, reaching out across the invisible boundaries of time and space. The magnetic pull of thoughts. One way to think about this energetic connection is through the analogy of magnets. Each person, in their essence, is like a magnet with their own specific vibration. Thoughts are like the poles of these magnets. When you think about someone consistently, you create a magnetic pull, drawing their energy toward you. This pull can be subtle or intense, depending on the nature of the bond you share with that person. Consider a situation in which you meet someone for the first time, and you immediately feel a deep, inexplicable connection. It's as if your energy recognizes theirs, and thoughts about them begin to flood your mind, seemingly without cause. This is a powerful example of the magnetic pull at work. But it's important to note that not all magnetic pulls are the same. Some are fleeting, while others are long-lasting, based on the depth and significance of the spiritual connection between the individuals involved. It's possible that thinking about someone repeatedly is a signal from the universe, telling you to pay attention to the nature of this bond. Is it a karmic connection from a past life, one that needs resolution or healing? Or is it a bond that requires you to learn something about yourself, perhaps through the lens of love, loss, or personal growth? Whatever the case, the repeated thoughts are not random, they are a sign that something deeper is happening. The role of unfinished business. Another reason someone may dominate your thoughts is the presence of unfinished business. This could be unresolved emotional ties, past trauma, or lingering connections that need to be addressed. In the spiritual realm, unfinished business is often referred to as karmic debt. Karmic debt is the idea that unresolved actions or feelings from previous lifetimes, or even earlier in this life, can affect our present reality. When you think about someone constantly, it may be the universe's way of nudging you to resolve this debt, to bring closure, or to heal an old wound. For instance, consider someone you had a difficult relationship with, whether romantic, familial, or professional. If that person resurfaces in your mind time and again, it could mean that there is something within you that needs to be acknowledged or healed. Perhaps there's anger, resentment, or guilt that you need to release in order to move forward. On a spiritual level, this constant thinking serves as a signal that there is unfinished emotional work that must be addressed. Soul contracts and preordained connections. In some esoteric traditions, there is a belief in soul contracts, agreements made between souls before incarnating into this life. These contracts dictate the relationships and experiences that we will encounter as we navigate our earthly existence. When you find yourself thinking about someone constantly, it's possible that you're in the midst of fulfilling one of these soul contracts. These contracts are not always easy, and they can lead to profound emotional and spiritual growth. For example, a soul contract may involve a deep emotional connection with someone, where both individuals have agreed to meet in this life in order to learn specific lessons. These lessons may revolve around forgiveness, self-love, or letting go of past attachments. The constant thoughts of this person could be the universe's way of guiding you toward fulfilling that contract, which may require you to face difficult emotions or confront past experiences. While this idea may seem abstract, it is deeply rooted in ancient spiritual teachings. The belief that our souls enter into agreements with one another before birth is echoed in the teachings of the ancient Egyptians, the Greeks, and many other cultures. These soul contracts are seen as a means to ensure that we encounter the people and experiences that will help us grow spiritually, even if those experiences are challenging. Having laid the foundation for understanding the spiritual meaning behind thinking about someone constantly, let's continue our exploration into the more intricate nuances of this phenomenon. We've discussed thoughts as energy, the magnetic pull of connections, unfinished business, and the presence of soul contracts. But there's more to uncover, especially when we consider the lesser-known or even contradictory aspects of these connections. What about the darker side of this constant thinking? How can it affect us negatively, and what hidden truths might emerge from these persistent thoughts? The shadow side of constant thinking. While thinking about someone can be a sign of a meaningful connection or a karmic bond, it can also carry with it a shadow side. The constant presence of someone in your thoughts may not always be a positive force. It could indicate an unhealthy attachment, obsession, or unhealed trauma. This is especially true when the thoughts become intrusive and start to consume your mental and emotional energy. In Jungian psychology, the shadow refers to the hidden or repressed aspects of ourselves, those parts of our psyche that we either deny or fail to acknowledge. When we constantly think about someone, particularly if the thoughts are obsessive or distressing, it can be a reflection of our shadow self. Perhaps there is something about this person that mirrors an unresolved issue within us, something we are afraid to confront. This could be an unhealed wound, a flaw we refuse to recognize, or an emotional need that is being projected onto them. Take, for example, a situation where someone keeps thinking about an ex-partner or someone who has hurt them. The thoughts may be centered on past pain, rejection, or betrayal. These thoughts, though seemingly about the other person, are often more about the self, about our own unhealed wounds and unmet needs. In this case, the constant thinking is less about the other person and more about our own internal struggle. The universe, in its wisdom, might be presenting this persistent thought pattern as an opportunity to heal and move forward. But why does this happen? Why do some connections become obsessive and negative, while others remain peaceful and meaningful? It all comes down to the unresolved emotional charges we carry. When we fail to process emotional pain, especially related to relationships, we can become energetically attached to the person who caused the pain. This attachment is often unconscious, but it can dominate our thoughts, keeping us tethered to the past and preventing us from moving forward. The role of energetic imbalances. One of the most important aspects of thinking about someone constantly lies in understanding the balance of energy between you and that person. In spiritual traditions, energy is always in motion, constantly flowing and shifting. But when this energy becomes imbalanced, it can create a kind of energetic attachment or cord between two individuals. These cords are often formed in intense emotional relationships, whether through love, trauma, or unspoken conflict. Imagine this energetic cord as a rope, one that tethers you to that person, sometimes without your conscious awareness. The more you think about them, the stronger this cord becomes, and the more energy is siphoned between you both. While this might seem natural in close relationships, it can become problematic when the energy exchange is unequal. For instance, if you are constantly thinking about someone but they are not reciprocating these thoughts, it may indicate an energetic imbalance. You are pouring your energy into the connection, but the other person is not offering the same in return. This energetic imbalance can cause emotional drain, confusion, and even frustration. You might feel stuck, unable to move on, or emotionally exhausted by these persistent thoughts. In many cases, these imbalanced connections stem from unhealed emotional issues or past life ties, as discussed earlier. The key to breaking free from this cycle is to restore balance, either by cutting the energetic cords or by confronting the underlying emotional issues that keep the connection alive. The power of forgiveness and release. One of the most powerful tools in addressing these persistent thoughts is the practice of forgiveness. In esoteric traditions, forgiveness is seen not only as an act of compassion but also as a potent method of energetic healing. When we forgive someone, we release the energetic cord that binds us to them. This act frees both our mind and spirit, allowing us to move on from the past and regain our personal power. However, forgiveness is not always easy. It often requires a deep, honest look at the pain or trauma that the other person has caused us. But it is through this process that we begin to release the attachment, the negative thoughts, and the emotional charge that keeps us tethered to them. Spiritual teachings emphasize that forgiveness is not about excusing someone's behavior but about freeing ourselves from the emotional and energetic burden they have placed upon us. Another powerful practice is to consciously redirect your thoughts. If someone is constantly on your mind, take the time to engage in mindful activities that shift your focus, such as meditation, yoga, or creative pursuits. By consciously redirecting your energy and thoughts, you can begin to sever the unhealthy attachment and restore your inner balance. The role of intuition and psychic sensitivity. While many of the thoughts that occupy our minds are born from emotional patterns or karmic connections, it's also important to consider the possibility of psychic sensitivity or intuition. In some cases, when someone is persistently on your mind, it could be because you are picking up on their thoughts or emotions. This is particularly true for those who are highly intuitive or empathic. The energetic field surrounding each person is always in motion, and sometimes we are subconsciously attuned to the feelings and thoughts of others. This phenomenon is often described as telepathy or psychic empathy, the ability to sense or receive information from another person without physical communication. If you are thinking about someone constantly, it may be because they are experiencing strong emotions or are energetically reaching out to you. It is believed that when we are connected to someone on a deeper level, we may receive their thoughts or emotional states, even from a distance. To tap into this ability consciously, some spiritual practitioners recommend developing your intuition through meditation and energy work. By heightening your sensitivity to the energetic field around you, you can learn to discern when the thoughts of others are truly coming from them, or whether they are simply reflections of your own mind. Before we continue, it's essential to emphasize one key point: the practice of conscious awareness. Whether we are dealing with positive or negative thoughts about someone, the very act of noticing these thoughts and understanding their spiritual meaning is the first step in transforming them. This awareness allows you to recognize when your thoughts are being influenced by external energies, unresolved emotions, or karmic ties. It's through this awareness that you begin to take control of your mental and emotional energy, choosing to either heal the connection or release it entirely. Additionally, I want to highlight the importance of self-reflection. The spiritual insights shared in this video are not just meant to be absorbed as intellectual knowledge but as tools for introspection. Reflecting on your own life, your past connections, and the persistent thoughts you have about certain individuals can reveal deeper truths about your personal growth, your emotional health, and your spiritual journey. Now that we've explored the deep spiritual meanings behind thinking about someone constantly, it's time to translate this knowledge into practical steps that you can use to harness the power of your thoughts and energy. These techniques will help you navigate the energetic landscape between you and the person who occupies your mind, leading to personal growth, emotional healing, and spiritual awakening. 1. Conscious thought observation. The first and most important practice is learning to observe your thoughts without judgment. The moment you realize that you are thinking about someone constantly, instead of letting your mind spiral, pause and take a step back. Ask yourself, why am I thinking about this person so much? What is it that I need to learn or heal from this connection? Conscious thought observation helps you become aware of patterns in your thinking. It's through this awareness that you begin to see whether your thoughts are driven by unresolved emotions, karmic ties, or a natural energetic pull. Once you can identify the root cause of these thoughts, you'll have a clearer idea of what action to take next. This practice doesn't require any special tools, it simply requires you to be present and mindful of your thought patterns. 2. Energy clearing techniques. If you suspect that there is an energetic cord between you and the person you are thinking about constantly, it's time to clear that energy. There are several ways to do this, depending on your personal preference and spiritual practice. Visualization. Close your eyes and imagine a cord or thread connecting you to the person in question. Visualize yourself cutting this cord with an energetic sword, releasing any emotional or spiritual attachment. As you do this, imagine the energy returning to you, replenishing your own sense of vitality and peace. Meditation. A more advanced technique involves meditation focused on energy clearing. Sit in a quiet space, relax, and focus on your breath. Visualize a pure, white light surrounding you, and as you breathe in, allow that light to fill your body, pushing out any negative energy. With each exhale, imagine the light dissolving any cords or imbalances connected to that person. Smudging. In many indigenous cultures, the practice of smudging with sage or palo santo is used to cleanse negative energy from a space or person. Use this technique to clear both physical and energetic spaces. As you smudge, focus on the intention of releasing any attachments or unwanted thoughts connected to the person. 3. Forgiveness ritual. Forgiveness is a transformative practice that allows you to release emotional baggage and disconnect from unhealthy energetic attachments. This is not an act of excusing the other person's behavior, but a gift to yourself. Here's a simple forgiveness ritual that you can practice. Write down the name of the person you are thinking about, along with the emotions you associate with them. This could be anger, resentment, longing, or even love. Write these emotions down on a piece of paper, acknowledging them as part of your emotional experience. In a quiet space, read what you've written aloud, and then say, "I forgive you, and I release this emotional connection. I choose peace and freedom over pain and attachment." As you say this, feel the weight lifting from your chest. Finally, burn the piece of paper, safely, or bury it as an act of releasing the energy. The act of physically destroying the paper symbolizes the destruction of the emotional cord that connects you. This ritual can be repeated as many times as necessary, and you may find that, over time, the connection to the person fades, allowing you to move forward with peace. 4. Redirect your energy. When you find that someone occupies your thoughts, it's important to redirect that energy toward yourself or a constructive purpose. This could mean engaging in activities that nourish your soul, such as creative expression, paint, write, dance, or engage in any creative activity that helps you channel your energy into something productive and fulfilling. Physical movement, exercise, yoga, or even a simple walk in nature can help release built-up energy and refocus your mind. Self-care. Take time for self-care activities that ground you, whether that's taking a relaxing bath, reading a book, or practicing mindfulness. Redirecting your energy is an act of reclaiming your power. When you consciously shift your focus from the other person back to yourself, you're taking back control of your thoughts and emotions. This practice also helps prevent obsessive thinking and prevents the energy from being constantly drawn out of you. 5. Strengthening boundaries. Sometimes, the constant thinking about someone is a sign that your boundaries need strengthening. In relationships, both energetic and physical, boundaries serve as an important protective mechanism. If someone's energy is continuously dominating your thoughts, it may be an indication that you need to establish clearer emotional and mental boundaries. To do this, start by affirming your space. You can say something like, "I have the right to keep my energy, thoughts, and emotions clear and free from external influence. I choose to protect my mind, body, and spirit from intrusive thoughts." This affirmation can be repeated daily to strengthen your resolve and help create a mental shield that blocks the overwhelming energy of others. Setting clear boundaries in your life will ensure that you maintain emotional clarity and prevent energy drains from others. 6. Connect with your higher self. Lastly, take time each day to connect with your higher self. Your higher self holds the wisdom and clarity that can guide you through complex emotional and spiritual situations. By strengthening this connection, you can more clearly discern the true nature of your thoughts about others and how to navigate them. One way to do this is through meditation, where you enter a quiet space and ask your higher self for guidance on the situation. Ask for insight into the reason why this person is occupying your thoughts, and trust that the answers will come. You may find that the more you connect with your higher self, the easier it becomes to release attachments and gain clarity on the deeper lessons you're meant to learn. 7. Acceptance of the mystery. Finally, one of the most powerful ways to handle persistent thoughts about someone is simply to accept the mystery of it all. Sometimes, the reason we think about someone so constantly is because the universe is nudging us towards something we don't yet fully understand. Perhaps the connection is not yet meant to be fully explained, or there are lessons still to unfold. Allowing yourself to sit with the unknown can be a source of deep peace, as it removes the pressure of needing to have all the answers right away. As we wrap up this exploration into the spiritual meaning behind thinking about someone constantly, let's take a moment to reflect on the profound insights we've uncovered. We've journeyed through the realms of energy, soul connections, unresolved emotions, and karmic bonds, all of which contribute to the mysterious and powerful force that drives our thoughts. But perhaps the most significant lesson is the reminder that our thoughts are not random. They are energetic signals, guides from the universe, urging us to look deeper, to heal, and to grow. When someone occupies your thoughts incessantly, it's not always a coincidence. It may be the universe whispering through the winds of your mind, signaling that there is something important to understand, something to release, or something to embrace. These thoughts are an invitation to reflect, to heal, and ultimately, to transcend the patterns that have held you captive in your mind. The practices we discussed. Conscious thought observation, energy clearing, forgiveness rituals, and boundary setting are tools that empower you to reclaim control of your thoughts and energy. By integrating these practices into your life, you not only free yourself from the pull of another person's energy but also unlock your potential for personal growth, emotional healing, and spiritual awakening. Remember, the universe communicates with us in subtle ways, often through the thoughts we cannot escape. These thoughts are not simply fleeting distractions, they carry meaning, depth, and purpose. It is up to you to listen, to pay attention, and to take the necessary steps to understand what they are trying to teach you. So, next time you find yourself thinking about someone incessantly, pause and reflect. What is the universe trying to tell you? What is your soul trying to reveal? Trust the process, for it is through these mysterious connections and thoughts that you will uncover deeper truths about yourself and your journey. If you found this video enlightening, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you never miss out on more esoteric wisdom, spiritual insights, and transformative practices. Let us know in the comments, have you ever experienced the intense feeling of thinking about someone constantly? What do you think it means? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Now, as you move forward, remember that the power to understand, heal, and transcend lies within you. The journey has only just begun.